Hello everyone and welcome back to Wargame Red Dragon. So we have another Take My Town for you guys today. I'm on the defensive playing as Great Britain. And right away we have an attack from Vimes. He is pushing through right now with some Speciality Jednostki, and we up the points this time around. So I have 1,000 points worth of defense here, a couple Warrior Milans, mostly trying to get fire across the bridge. I mean, yeah, it's short for Milan team, but that's the vehicle that I had. Saxons, lots of paratroopers, Fusiliers 90, SAS, SBS, paratroopers 90, a couple of Fox scout vehicles, and I was feeling very confident about this, let me tell you guys that. I was feeling like this was going to be an easy defense. I had a couple Centurion Avers. I thought he's going to come in, we're going to get a nice firing concave on him. From a couple of different directions. The Centurion Avers are going to mulch infantry, my Rardens are going to be good fire support, heavy tanks won't really fly in these woods, and then he'd end up fighting me town to town to town, and I'd end up just grinding him down. So that was my intention. We'll have to see if it works out that way, because the name of the game was Patience, and technically starting off with the Speciality allows him to then go ahead and, per the rules of our match, come in with artillery. So lots of artillery fire is going to be a bit of a theme for today, and right away, I mean, it doesn't really do all that much. We also have some smoke coming in from that MLRS, which I haven't really seen that before, but it was reasonably effective because, I mean, this is a standard wall here, so I can't get shots across. My Saxons are getting lit up. Now, the Warrior Milans are doing what they're supposed to do. They're denying access into this area by a couple enemy vehicles, but they're only 5-point vehicles, although we did damage some Motschutzen, so that's nice. And this is kind of starting out okay. Vimes does have 1,400 points, so I have to be pretty efficient. But so far, I think, like this, we would just barely manage to get it, and things tend to turn against the attacker as time goes on. Now, Harrier GR7 coming in, trying to crush that advance, but just mulched by not one, not two, not three, but 4 AA vehicles in those woods, which was a big price to pay. Immediately that puts Vimes 100 points ahead, as I did lose that Harrier, and there's so many infantry in these towns. My Paras and SBS are going to have a hard time of it. Centurion's not able to fire. These guys always have really tricky sight lines. You can see I'm beginning to maneuver them a little bit, trying to get them able to fire, and they do. They try aiming. The Rardens are able to open up. We are still killing infantry, and I mean, the Motschutzen are dying pretty quickly. That is pretty nice. They should against, what, paratroopers and SBS, right? Elite infantry from the SBS, and the Paras are themselves shock infantry with mini-me's, so quite nice guns there, and I thought we'd be able to do it. I should have. This is the time for the bombing run. If I'd been able to smack that advance pretty hard, that would have been pretty nice, but another round of artillery coming in, and it's starting to get damage. So my SAS have taken damage, my paratroopers have taken damage, they're worried, they're not calm anymore, my Rardens are, I mean, it was just, I was getting pushed out of this bottom town, and looking at the points, this is not what you want to see when you're starting off down, and I have about 680 points left to his roughly 1250, right? So, yeah, no, that attack was beautiful, the artillery support was beautiful, the smoke allowing him to get into that town was just wonderful as well. My fire support vehicles have not proven to be effective here, and now we have BMP2s moving through the woods, so I'm trying to respond with SAS, which is not what I want to be responding with here. I want something cheaper with still good anti-tank weapons in this woods crawl, as I have no tertiary here other than the Stinger, which doesn't appear to be useful so far. Yeah, and then there's a tank in there, or there's at least ATGM stuff in there going after the Centurions, who haven't been able to get even a single good shot in so far. And they're taking fire, right? So that's not going to be good. SAS do get a little bit of revenge, 40 points of kills, and ambushing Motschutzen here. So this is the nice thing about SAS. They will never be distracted by infantry and not use those AT4s. On the other hand, they're worse at killing the AT4s, so I'm just moving them out of the way. I was expecting this. Yep, more artillery coming in and pounding my position. You may have also been able to see just the blip there of an advance through the woods. Snezkas, BMPs, infantry support, very nice push here. Very, very difficult to resist, and my SAS are getting mulched. So they're trying to move out. This was kind of annoying. I thought they were using the AT4s, and it doesn't look like they were. We could have gotten a couple of those BMP2s, potentially. But Saxon now moving through here, SBS sparring with some Specialny Jednostki, and yeah, the Czech, this I think was an Entente deck. Should be, yes, I think so. Motschutzen, no, Eastern Bloc. Still Eastern Bloc, but yeah, so we're retreating out of this woods position now. Nearly half my force has been killed. So Vimes is up to 450 points in kills. I have 550 left, and I still have over 1,000 points of Eastern Bloc troops to face. So my only hope at this point is for the infantry grind to be truly that effective, for him to basically run out of infantry and not be able to push these towns. But that artillery is going to be pounding in again really soon, and it's going to be a problem. My SAS get killed by a Prom S, and I mean, I underestimated that main gun many times before, but 5 AG power in open field, yeah, okay, it works. And my infantry have been paying the price. More artillery coming in, and I have no way of healing this up, so I had no resupply vehicles. Per the game rules, of course, I was not allowed to then purchase them and bring them out. And paratroopers down to 14, SPS down to 8, SAS down to 16. That's all from artillery fire. So even my remaining infantry, even my remaining points on the board are very much struggling. There was a little bit of a sort of lull here, as I think Vimes is just repositioning, healing things up, trying to make all of that go well, and I'm trying to get some Fusiliers 90 around into these woods. So for those of you guys who are new to this, Take My Town as a scenario is something that my friends and I do from time to time, just as a bit of a contrived game, but it can be a lot of fun, and I'm not allowed to leave the zone until after the attack commences, but once the attack has commenced, my Fusiliers are free to go where they will. So I'm trying to clear out the support in this area. I should have done that before I called in my bomber, because consistent bomber support now would have been able to damage that first push here, would have been able to punish the infantry around the side that pushed me out of this woods position, and could have well gotten me 300-400 points in kills off of a single bomber, because the enemy's push positions are relatively well known. But instead, I lost it all early to that very excellent AA, and it was just a bunch. It was a bunch of the 35 points radar vehicles, yeah, the FLA, SFLs. Now, we do get some good contact with those, and Fusiliers, the Law 90s, will be pretty efficient at killing them. And those guns do have 22 AP power, 20 rounds a minute. It's part of what makes Fusiliers 90 just that good. They're not shock training, but they will kill any and all vehicles that they come across pretty darn well. ATGM's killing a Saxon, which is a bit of an odd choice, but this is where things, I truly started to get a little bit disheartened, because if he still had Motschützen and SPWs in those woods as well, I mean, my Fusiliers aren't going to be able to take that fight. I'm trying to retreat, but it's not going to be fast enough. FLA is opening up direct fire as well. It's just going to mulch through my Fusiliers. We do get some revenge there, and this group of Fusiliers, you paid for yourself. One of the few units I had on the board today that did. But if he still had reserve infantry back here and everything else that was pushing, it's a bad look. I was also trying to get some Rardens back in through. Should have sent them around, because I think this was his only roadblock. But I'm trying to just get back there and kill his artillery. Why not, right? It's on the board. I can technically leave the zone, but my Rardens get hunted down and destroyed. Fusiliers dying off in the woods. And Vimes is still being incredibly patient, so just waiting for that good engagement to deny me fire support from the Centurions, to deny me fire support from the Warriors, and you know, I have very rarely felt true fear in this game. One of them was definitely going up against that other fellow a couple weeks ago. Don't quite remember his name. Enduring Freedom might have been, but yeah, I was just terrified at this point. Smoke coming in, and this was a bit questionable, but I mean, again, there's almost 3 different walls of smoke here. There's one this way, one through the center, and then one more or less around the back. And my SAS, I mean, their line of sight's blocked. They can't really see much of anywhere. I might have to try that at some point in an actual game, see if it works. I know that the problem with it is that the dispersion pattern is going to be relatively random, right? So if I want to block a specific area, it's not going to do that as well as would a mortar team. But that really wasn't what Chris was going for, well, what Vimes was going for here. He just wanted to block off as much as he could, knowing that there were multiple groups of infantry able to spot and shoot out of this town. The SAS were probably a waste of points. I was hoping they'd be able to take down helicopters, but we haven't seen them yet. SBS now trying to get back here and into the juicy bits, and my opponent's hopefully, back end of his line. So Carl Gustav M2s are quite deadly. Should be pretty effective, but I have to hope that I don't run into infantry. We have Motschützen moving around the other side, and they are going to be intercepted a little bit. Paratroopers trying to get into position, and these were the Motschützen that got kills earlier on my Rardens. But I just want to watch these guys to see what happens to the single unit as the rest of the engagement goes on, because it looks like they still haven't found anything at all. So my enemy's entire position that was in these woods has been moved somewhere else. I have no idea where. LSTR moving up, and now it looks like I just swung and missed, right? So Moat shoots in 90 in a triple stack, head to the town, smoke blocking off my lines of sight. FLAs, I mean, hey, we got them all in the end. At least I think we did. We got at least 3, but that many Motschützen, that many Specialny are going to be able to kill my infantry at a reasonable price point too, right? So SBS trying to get into the... that's what happens. Killed by a Promes when they didn't quite get into the town. Centurion Aver taking fire from a Conquerors team that was moved all the way up here just for that purpose. And may I say, this was a beautifully played out attack by Vimes. This is of course the first defense that has failed. In any of the Take My Town scenarios, usually the defender does win. We were a bit more generous with the attacking points for that reason. So 1400 attacker, 1000 defender. Usually we had something like, I don't know, 600 defender, 850 attacker. We might need to narrow that gap a little bit because it looks like this was just a massacre. But I'm running out of infantry. My green jackets are just the last men standing. And the Spartans and Warriors are trying to do something. I was trying to get, a couple kills on resupply vehicles if I could. Just to say that I did at this point, because that's about all I've got to my name. And yeah, 900 points of mine lost, 605 lost for my opponent. Brutal, brutal attack. We might be able to get the Conquerors team with a freaking Spartan, man. No, it looks like probably not. Warrior Merlon's, yeah. Oh, hey, we did. Nice. Got some revenge at least, and all I can say is that that was a beautifully well done match. So well played to my opponent Vimes there. Very nice, well deserved win. And well, we'll have the next episode of Take My Town where I'm on the attack, same zone, same coalitions as well. So I'll be playing Great Britain against his Eastern Bloc for you guys tomorrow. Hang around, do see that if you're interested. That's all I've got for you guys today, though. So see you again real soon.